Oh, hi guys. I just wanted to talk to you guys today about a couple things. I think mainly housework while I drink coffee and contemplate everything. Um, I mean, who likes housework? Who likes decluttering? And I got way behind on my decluttering housework because I'm trying to work on my life and trying to make money again and trying to do things. And I've got my decluttering group on Wednesday morning with Angela Shelton. So I'm way behind everybody on this stuff right now. So I got to do catch up. So I did have a book for you guys in all my decluttering. I did find this one book, Stop Clutter from Stealing Your Life. Discover why you clutter and how you can stop. And it's so strange. You know, I ended up in this smaller apartment with no dishwasher and no washer dryer. But you know what? It's because of a lot of things. And like a lot of people, we went through a lot over the last 3 or 4 years. Everybody did. And I'm an older single divorced lady. And, you know, life is challenging for everyone, really, no matter what your circumstance. I've met all kinds of people in my life and all my endeavors and jobs and careers, and everybody has challenges, regardless of their socioeconomic level or whatever. But, you know, the thing of it is this is, yeah, really pretty good book here. Here's one little paragraph from it. It talks about the spiritual view, God, good orderly direction. As I began to live more in recovery and less in squalor, I had to come face to face with my emotional baggage. I had to let go of it in order to make room for the good orderly life that I desired. I found out that I could not have a cluttered soul and a clean house. Sure, I could throw away lots of junk, and in fact, that is where most of us start. But I soon found that I could still feel heavy. I tried to meditate and did so in the best way I could at the time, which is to say, a half-assed way. I learned that one concentrates on breathing or a candle during meditation, not because either of those has magical properties, but because they teach us how little we are able to concentrate on the here and now. I became aware of the mind clutter that I was figuratively tripping over while trying to attain a higher consciousness. Okay. And I just got out of a challenge, a 9-day challenge from the New Earth Live. It was only $19. Of course, I have a program that's marvelous that I cannot afford once again, you know, just like a voiceover program that I started but couldn't continue. But I will continue. And I've taken a lot of classes in my life on all kinds of stuff, on and off in between working full-time and working a business and everything. But, you know, maybe right now, for me, maybe this is my time. I've been here a year and a half, and I've done a lot here. I've decluttered a lot. I haven't always cleaned a lot, but I have. I've even mopped my floor with pine sol before, so, you know, whatever. But, which was a big step for me. But anyway, so sometimes in life, we find ourselves in a situation where this is my time to declutter. I mean, I was like so upset when I found out that in my area, Salvation Army is no longer accepting books, which I'm wanting to eventually donating a lot of the marvelous books I have. And so many things are online. And so if I really feel strongly about a book, I can just look for it on the Kindle Reader or one of those apps, you know. And it's all right there just in my little computer, laptop or phone or whatever. But this place is so small without a dishwasher or a garbage disposal that in many ways, no, it does have a never mind. It does have a garbage disposal. Praise God, thank you, Jesus. But of course, I take a lot of trash out every day because I have pets and everything. So, and we have to walk and all that. But it's like forcing me to get rid of a lot of old books and clothes that no longer serve me. Just like old work papers and things from all my different jobs and careers. And a lot of times I've worked out of my apartment, and I even had like a bigger apartment and all that. Especially in my days of full-time insurance sales and all those different things. And so, but this is my time to not only heal from childhood trauma. So I get to clean. I get to work on this stuff. I get to do this. This is my journey. This is part of my blessing. It doesn't look like it sometimes. It doesn't always feel like it. But all these things that I have, a lot of things are old books, old clothes, but they could serve other people. Now, I have donated a lot of things in my life. And I keep saying I'm a lot older than I look, and I don't like to tell everybody all my age, my true age or weight or anything, but it wouldn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, you know. So, and that's another way I think of holding on, you know. And it's not just because I've always dated younger men or wanted to feel young for my age, or I was the only one in town when I had, you know, older, like grandparents and parents that had passed, and they all lived into their 80s or even 90s, like my grandma. My grandfather lived in his late 70s, but he had emphysema and different things. But my parents had all kinds of issues, heart disease or cancer, like my mom had cancer. My dad had heart disease, and then my grandmother was pretty healthy and lived to be 99. And she overcame lots of stuff. But not to ramble, but the bottom line is this is my time. And I need to embrace it and love Jesus and love God. And I'm not here to preach. I'm not a preacher. And I believe that we all sort of believe in the same, not everybody. Some people just don't believe that there's an afterlife or anything. But sometimes I think solving the world's problems would just come with the fact that we all may be loving the same deity, the universe. As a Catholic, we believe in the three in one, God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus, all in one as the one person or spiritual being. But, you know, everybody has their own. I have friends that are Jewish and all kinds of different religions. But we all really believe, people that do believe in divine intervention and all these kind of things, we're all really believing perhaps in the same being or the same energy. And we're all connected by energy. And so this is my time. I've done a lot over the last year and a half, and I did a lot to move out of my other place that I could no longer afford because Dallas rents kept escalating. Okay. So, like I said, and I've lived in Austin, which was really pricey too. Depends on the area. And then in LA was really pricey, but I had a much smaller place on a special out there. And then the pandemic hit, and you know, life is not easy. And we've all been like just thrown, you know, setbacks after setbacks, or, you know, challenging things to us. One thing that is a blessing now, because I had a difficult childhood. It didn't look like it to other people, because I think at my base, even though I was mainly just in dancing classes and later musicals, I've always been kind of an actor, pretending like everything is great. My parents were good at that too. My mother was better at it than my dad, but presenting the perfect, everything's perfect, when there was a lot of emotional rumblings going on inside, and people not feeling free to express themselves. But, you know, the whole should be seen and not heard and all that kind of stuff. But it's like I get this time now for me to declutter, keep giving. I've given stuff over the years. I've donated a lot of stuff. But Salvation Army will still accept, like clothes and lots of stuff. And the libraries will take books. And like I said, I've donated a lot of stuff in my life, but not as much as I could have with all the moves that I've made over the years. And I'm just checking to make sure my dog's okay. He's right here because I've got the door open with the cat outside right here because I'm trying to air out the place a bit. So just sometimes it gets stagnant energy in here. 450 square feet can, with all the stuff, as I slowly get it out of here. But I say, oh, I'll need somebody to help me. But like I said, I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. And it's down where, it's pretty. So other people might say, hey, it just looks a little messy. But I still have books and clothes that really I never look at or wear. Obviously, well, I could dress up more for this, but when I do have auditions or job interviews, I do, or like if I get back more into sales, which I'm sort of toying with that idea. Nowadays, let's face it, we may have to do everything. It doesn't matter whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever. It's like if you want to live in this world and not have somebody controlling every aspect of your life, and be free and independent, you may just have to work your whatever off, and that looks better to me than you see older people. Sometimes they get to be my age and even younger than me and beyond. And it's like they're just sitting around waiting to, kill over or whatever. So, but hey, if they've lived a full life and they've done everything they wanted to do, that's great. But I've spent a lot of my life doing stuff where I always thought other people wanted me to do because I used to be an extreme people pleaser. I used to be very much of an empath. I used to do jobs and things and everything that I thought other people wanted me to do. And I thought that would buy me friendship or relationships. And at the end of the day, it didn't. It did. It can temporarily, like to get a boyfriend or a friend, have good friends or have fun, party and whatever, semi-successful at work. But then I think always something was holding me back from being truly successful, because if you become really successful, people like that lose a lot of friendships. And I've always hung on to a lot of friends, but I've actually hung on to almost every friend I've ever had, I think. But I don't see them or talk to them. The years may go by before I see or talk to them. With social media, we can reconnect with everybody. You don't have to just let everybody go, but you don't have to be in constant contact with all these people. I guess unless you're trying to sell them something. But that's a real good way to lose people that are grating your nerves, is just tell them that you're going to try to sell insurance again or whatever, or even cosmetics, or, sometimes even when I was more active in Mary Kay or whatever, different things. So, and I can sell the Angela Shelton's products, but they're very reasonable and they're very fun, but, and inspiring and spiritual too. But, and so ask me about that if you ever want that. But anyway, that's all. I don't want to keep rambling and, my name is Jean. I'm not Rambling Rose or whatever. But, yeah, this is my time. And maybe figure out, where I want to live next, and where I can afford to live next, and where I want to work next. I can work, you can do so much work from your place, wherever you live now. And that's what I kind of try to do now, or do. I'm kind of in the process of that. But, and have been for quite some time, and I've done a lot of different things. But it's my time to really figure it out. And sometimes when you're in these kind of scenarios, it forces you to do that. And sometimes I was thinking, when you live in a bigger city like Dallas or Austin or Los Angeles especially, if there's a lot of nervous energy there, and a lot of people, it's so expensive. The bigger the city, the more expensive, and the more you have to work, and you're just like, you don't even have time to think, much less, follow your dreams or anything. It's so ironic that so many actors have over the years lived in either LA or New York, and the competition is, of course, tremendous in those fields, but it's like that in everything. I've been in so many different things, but it's only if you think it is. A lot of times it's us, and I keep saying, oh, I'd like to have a nice boyfriend again, but what if I fall in love with a man that has a lot of problems? And I've done that before, and then that compounds on whatever I'm trying to do. But then I don't want some milk and toast like guy with no problems, because everybody, well, I don't know. I just want to figure it out and maybe not worry about it so much, because I try to preach a good game here and like everything's like supposed to be positive. But you know what? Everybody's got problems. Everybody's got challenges. Everybody's got concerns and things they deal with. But let's try to call them challenges or concerns and maybe eliminate the word problems and just pray or meditate about it or whatever. But that's all, guys. I'll let y'all go, but I'm trying to think of this as an opportunity to really do stuff. And I'm not moving anytime soon. Maybe in the spring if I find a better situation work-wise, or someplace I can afford that has a dishwasher and washer dryer in the unit or whatever. Or maybe a roommate, or maybe I'll get a boyfriend, or who knows, whatever. Or maybe my acting career will take off, or maybe it won't, or maybe I'll get it, whatever it is. But as I've told you before, no matter what's going on, you always have to have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, the whole thing. So, as I go through it all, it will help me make up my mind about stuff. So don't be afraid to get in there. Starting with one, I've got like a zillion of these from Dollar Tree. They're only $1.25, and just bills, old work ideas from old work papers, about selling insurance or advertising or other things, acting work, scripts, whatever. It's all kinds of stuff. So, and I've got lots of baskets, bigger ones, and I've slowly gotten rid of more and more, but as I go through, it will help me decide, and then I can clear all the energy out of here. And as I've found out when I've moved, and that's one reason I've really actually enjoyed moving. Of course, it's fun because you set off like a new energy, and it's like a way to start over and all that stuff, and you get rid of the stagnant energy. But also once you move, and I used to just put a bunch of stuff in boxes and move it, and then not get rid of a lot of stuff. Get rid of some stuff, but not as much as I could have. But basically, as you go through it, you can make a lot of decisions and get rid of all the stuff that no longer serves you, and then you can actually make better decisions and feel better about yourself. And then once all that's done, it's easier to clean. And before I decide on a new place, because I've seen some of my neighbors' places, actually these old buildings don't look too bad for a 450 square foot apartment. Maybe it's 425, whatever. But of course they're really good at decluttering and housework and all the stuff. And a lot of them work a lot. Some of them are younger than me, but not all of them. But as I go through it all, and as you do that, as I found out the many times I've moved, the more stuff you get rid of, the easier it is to clean. You may not even have to hire somebody to help you clean then. You might even be able to do most of it yourself. And a lot of it's just the stuff is in the way. And a lot of it, that stuff, you wake up and you see the stuff, I need to do this, and then it leads to procrastination and everything. And like Angela Shelton always pointed out, if you went through childhood trauma, different things, that can bring on fibromyalgia and your aches and pains and all the stuff. I mean, a lot of this stuff, you hold all this negative energy in your body, and it's in your stuff, and it's in the clothes, and I used to have, well, I haven't talked to her in quite some time, but she finally settled down with a man in a house, but finally, decades of, not doing that. But the thing of it is even the clothes have energy. She used to like give me old clothes, like that reminds me of something that, like a bad relationship or whatever. And I'm starting to do that too. And I used to like go like to even thrift stores, or people would give me more stuff, or then of course I used to like buy too much stuff. That was easy to do, with your charge cards. So I no longer do that anymore, and I can't because I'm on such a tight budget right now. But even once I figure all this out, start making more money again, and work on all this stuff, I think you realize that you don't have to accumulate as much stuff as you think. And then I will be an asset, because if I find someone that I feel like I can be with, whatever, again, for something romantic, and I will have less stuff. And in the meantime, I would just be happy to kind of get my life on track again. And some people just have very minimal stuff in their place anyway. Like, even if they live in these older, less expensive apartments. So, and they seem happier that way, and they don't go into debt again and all that. So that's all I just wanted to say. And I'm kind of trying to fire myself up to get going too, but I want to encourage you to join me in this. And I hope everybody was sharing a positive note. But as one of my followers on YouTube said, if you don't feel like it, you can just say a positive note to yourself, and that's true. And I have some positive affirmations that different people have given me through the years to repeat to yourself. So if for whatever reason you don't want to make your own little video, even if it's just like a 10-second video about being positive, like I encouraged in the last thing, just make a positive video for yourself to watch. And that's good too. And we need to encourage ourselves, because there's always somebody around the corner telling you why you can't do something, or just give up, or you're getting kind of old, just sit around and wait to whatever. That's just not right. That's abusive, kind of, when you think about it. So anyway, we really want these kind of people, or educate them, but don't spend a lot of time trying to change people. I've done that too. You're not going to take everybody with you, and you certainly can't take all the stuff around with you as you move on in your life, whether you're moving up in the world to a new job, a new relationship, a new apartment, a new house, whatever. Let it go. Let that stuff go. Don't worry, just do it. Get it done now, like they say with the Nike ad. Just do it, And I would like to add, don't worry, just do it. Get it done now. You can do it. I'm the to-it that can do it. So, okay, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.